Hi, this is Nigel Foote coming to you from Melbourne, Australia for Anglo-Indian Stories. Today I'm with Bob Francis, and Bob has written a book. I've got it here, The Charzi Tours, Indian Journeys on a Shoestring. And Bob travelled by himself first, but also later on, as the family grew, with his wife and kids, and they travelled around India from 1951 to 1967. And this book, it's a fantastic book. It's been really well put together. It's got some fantastic photographs in it here. You can purchase the book, or you can even download it online, and we'll give you the details of that at the end of the recording. Now, I'd like to introduce Bob. He's come up today to Melbourne from Geelong, where he lives with his wife and family. G'day, Bob. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thanks very much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you. Tell us first a little bit about yourself, where you were born and where you grew up.
I was born in Dehradun and grew up in Missouri. I spent all my early years actually in the hills. And from Missouri I moved to Murray, which is now in the Punjab, Pakistan.
Oh, okay. So how far is Missouri from?
Well, it was a day's train journey, I suppose. Right. For the training college. The training college, the Chelmsford Training College was situated in Murray. Yeah. So the first 18 or 19 years, really, I just spent my life in the hills. And it was after that I moved to Pune to take up a job at Bishop's School, Pune.
As a school teacher?
As a school teacher, qualified school teacher.
Oh, and what did you teach us?
Maths, mainly maths. Maths to senior classes.
Right. And what year did you leave India?
1967. We decided then to migrate.
And you came to Australia?
Came to Australia because my brother had come here.
Of course, the reason that, primarily we're here is to talk about your book. Now, one of the things that fascinated me is that I don't think, and even in my research and talking to Anglo-Indians, they didn't do a lot of travelling around in India, especially I think the people who worked and lived in the railway colonies, the people that I've spoken to, they tended to use that as a hub and stayed there. They didn't go very far afield, but you travelled wide and far, and I'd just like to read here a review of your book, and I quote this review. "It was an absolute pleasure to read your stories. They are beautiful, funny, emotional, inspired. Really wonderful. What adventures you have had." End of quote. So definitely that's what I thought as well when I read a couple of chapters that you'd shared with me. It would have been extremely adventurous in 1951, especially I think the first 2 years you travelled on motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us how that came about.
I really don't know. We bought a new motorbike. First we had a reconditioned old Norton, and this was after we were married. Quite
a few Anglo-Indians had nice British motorcycles. I know in my family, my uncles, my dad, they had some beautiful motorcycles. And
when we got married, we had this first motorcycle. Well, we were on cycles to begin with, and we graduated to the Norton, and then we bought a brand new Ariel, and we used to travel quite a bit around Pune itself, to the surrounding countryside. And I just decided one day that I'd like to do a trip right up to Missouri.
And Charzi, for those people who may not know, well, Bob, you tell us why you picked that particular title, The Charzi Tours, Indian Journeys on a Shoestring.
Well, Charzi was a term used by all the schoolboys in Missouri for foreigners. Right. So he said, how much does that cost? They say Charzi. And so when you went to the movies, if you didn't have any money, you went to the Charzi seats, which are the foreigner seats. And so that's why I just since our tours were done,
Yeah.
on literally on shoestring.
On the shoestring. Really.
I decided that might be a good title.
Yeah, I think it's a novel idea. Really good. It sort of sets up the mood of the book. And you brought one of the diaries that you original diaries that you used.
Yes, because once we set up on our trips, there was no way to get money from anywhere else. That was the money we had.
Yeah.
And so my wife Maeve used to keep these diaries very, very carefully and ration out the money, literally. Because if we went round out of money, we were really in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she kept these meticulous diaries. For instance, we'd pay for perhaps 8 annas or something for a cup of tea and a bhaja or something.
Yeah, yeah.
She'd make a note of all that as well.
She sounds like a tough woman. So I'll just, if I can have a look.
Yeah.
This is one of the diaries here. This one is actually the 1965, and as Bob was saying, inside it's beautifully penciled in little remarks and
I've copied
episodes.
one of those pages into the book.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good, fantastic. So, again, it's a historic document as well. It's not just a travel log, but it also has things, how much things cost back then, what you could do, I suppose, as far as accommodation. What was accommodation like?
Well, accommodation was in what were known as the duck bungalows.
Because you didn't have sleeping bags or anything like that.
No, we didn't. We just carried sheets,
Mm.
and we developed certain things later on.
Mm.
But mostly were just sheets with us because it wasn't cold at the time of the year we were traveling.
Mm.
The duck bungalows were where we stayed because they were cheap.
And these were built for the English.
Well, yeah, they were built originally for the English officials who travelled around, magistrates and people like that.
Okay.
And they were just places where the official would spend the night,
Right.
perhaps set up his court outside in the morning
Mm.
and deal with all the problems.
Right.
So they generally came with a chowkidar or a watchman who looked after the place and a cook.
Fantastic.
And
Was it very dangerous?
somehow or the other we didn't feel they were dangerous because there were always people there to help you. That we counted on. There was no real fear of being robbed or being attacked.
Yeah. And what about the hospitality of the Indians?
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Well, when did you actually write this book?
I started in January.
So January of 2011.
2011, yes.
Yeah. So, was it an easy experience for you, or did you have to motivate yourself, or?
No, I did. I wrote so much of it I wrote in this drawer and started again and again. But other than that, as I got into it, I found my memory of things was fairly clear.
And you had the diaries, which
we had the diaries
and photographs. I certainly see it as a historic document. It shows India in a different light to what many people would have the opportunity to see for themselves. I think Bob's done a fantastic job. He's put it into a format that he can share and other people can enjoy his memories. Bob, the important thing: how can people buy your book?
Just email me and I can make arrangements to have the book to them.
So in Australia, how much is the book sell for?
$15.
$15.
And the postage is all that is extra. In Australia, about $3 for postage.
Right, that's fantastic. I mean, for this type of book, that's an amazing price. So, okay, so.
Well,
thanks, mate.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming today. No, it's been fantastic. I'm sure people are really going to enjoy it. So, that's Bob. He's written the book. Please, I highly recommend that you get this book and keep it in your library. It would be fantastic. Anyway, this is Anglo-Indian Stories, and I'm Nigel Foote. Thanks for watching. Bye.